we go. Here's how the printmaking project works. The first thing you do is you take a piece of regular white paper, you fold it into a triangle, and you create a line design. You fold it in half, trace it, fold it, trace it until the whole drawing is on one side. Then you take your drawing and you tape it to a piece of styrofoam. When it's taped onto the piece of styrofoam, you want to make sure it's super secure so it doesn't move or change the register. Once it's taped on there, you're going to first trace in pencil, then remove the paper and trace it using a ballpoint pen. You don't want to make a hole, so please be careful when you're tracing with pencil to use a dull pencil, not a sharp pencil. Please note that these ink lines will not show up. So now you have a printing plate. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to prepare some ink for printing. This is a lunch tray. This is a roller or a brayer. And this is called a bearing. So we have all the things we're going to need. We're going to print onto a piece of regular paper. So I'm going to put my paper to the side so I'm ready. So I have my materials. Once again, I have my bearing. I have my printing plate. I have my paper where I'm printing. I have a tray and my roller or brayer. Now, first thing you need to do is decide how your design is going to go. This radial sheet is super helpful. Your design can go one of two ways. For example, I could put this shape into the center and it would make like a flower shape. Or I could put it like this and then the flower shape would kind of go on the side. Or I can have the flowers in the middle. So I happen to like this design. I like it when it makes like almost a scallop design like this. So that would mean that I want this in the center. So I would take this foam, flip it over, and mark where I want my center. This is super helpful. Every time I print my foam, I would put that arrow in the middle, and then my drawing would be perfectly lined up each time. If you don't do that, it's virtually impossible to get it right. So here we have the ink, and it's pretty goopy. Let me scoop out a little bit. Now the interesting part about the ink is you're going to roll it onto your tray, and for the first time in art class, you're actually going to listen to a sound. In order to get a good quality print, what you have to do is roll the ink smoothly and evenly on your board. Okay, so I would roll it up and down, and left and right. Now the sound is actually going to change. Once I get a smooth, even layer, the whole tray is evenly coated. Now my brayer has a nice even coating. I'm going to take my design. I'll use this as scrap paper. Take my design and roll it completely with the ink. Again, nice and even, not too much ink, not too little. And it's important that I work quickly so the ink doesn't dry. Get my piece of paper that I'm printing on. I'm going to look for my arrow. The arrow goes in the center. Place it down. And now I'm going to take my baron and smooth it out. So I'm going to get each little corner, every little section, evenly pressed. It's like I'm ironing. I'm not stamping, I'm ironing to make sure I get those edges and all the parts. I'm going to pick it up. Now this is a test print, and I can see that I waited a little too long. My ink is not very bold, and I didn't have quite enough ink on there. So I'm going to print again. This time I'm going to try to get a little bit more ink applied and work a little bit faster. For your final, you'll have to make 4 prints, so it's important that you think about it like a scientist each time. So I've added lots of ink. I'm working much more quickly. I'm looking for my arrow. I'm going to line it up with my other one. Put it right next door. Press it with my hands immediately. And then start working with my baron like I'm ironing it. Okay. Peel it up. Oh, that print is way better. Let me do one more to show you the radial symmetry. Roll it. Get my entire printing plate with my Baron. Flip it over, look for my arrow. Line it up. Press it down with my fingers first. Get all those corners. And then firmly use my Baron. This is just a test print. These are fun and these can even go home. Ooh, see? I didn't do my edge there. Last one just for fun. Okay, roll it on here. You'll notice that I'm inking it each time. Work it quickly, flip it over, look for my arrow, take a moment to line it up, press it down with my fingers first. After I press it with my fingers, I'm going to grab that Baron. Press it. My last one. This is our test print. When you do the final, you do 4, and you can't redo them because they're like a stamp. They won't work a second time. Whoop, that was my best one yet. Okay, so you can see, so those are the steps. First, you draw on a triangle, trace, and trace until the drawing's on one side. Tape it to foam, trace it in pencil, and then on pen in here. Then you roll it with the ink and stamp it 4 times.